Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a 2,500 point game of my Orcs up against some Empire. Alright, this is a game I've been waiting for a while, just because I really want to try this list. Of course, it's always kind of thrown around what happened if you did the shooty orc list, and I finally decided to give it a try. So what I'm going to be running here is I have a level 4 orc shaman, I got a BSB night goblin with the fireball ring, got a scroll on my level 4, then I got 30 let's just say 30 orc archers, not piss anyone off, with a banner, 30 savage archers with a banner, 2 blocks of 50 night goblin archers with nets, banners, and 3 fanatics each. Then I have a little bunker of 20, that's a musician. Apart from that, I got 2 units of 5 wolf riders that have bows and spears. I got 2 chariots, Ragnarok. Then I got 4 spear chukkas, 2 doom divers, and 3 rock lubbas. So if it doesn't have a shooting ability, some range attack, it's not on the list. Now I gotta say right away that this is actually an illegal list. We didn't realize until we actually got into the game that, yeah, stone throwers are rare now. I forgot that, so I took too many. Didn't really make a big difference. Anyway, on my opponent's side, this is the same pretty much Empire army that I faced with my Tomb Kings, just slightly different. So on the far left, he has a big unit of great swords, and in there he has a witch hunter, and he has the warrior priest. Then he has a big block of 60 swordsmen. In there is his BSB. He has another warrior priest, and then there's 2 large detachments, one of halberds and the other one of spearmen. He has the whole laser beam machine and the Hurricanum, whatever, both those little things in the back. He has 3 of the hippogriffs, and in with them is actually Luther Huss. He's trying him out this time. Behind that, he has his Archlector on the war altar, and there you go. So the mission we got was pitch battle, and really what I planned to do with this was I placed down first my wolves and stuff like that on the right flank to try and make them over there, and then I decided I was going to go and castle everything on the left side. So the idea here is that with all this terrain, it's going to be very difficult for him to wield towards me, and then even if he does, then all of a sudden I have my Ragnarok and the chariots and stuff that can hit a flank and really slow him down and make him wonder if he's even be going forward at all. I'm not really worried about the demigryphs at all. Between my war machines and the fanatics and the night goblins on the far right, I'm sure they're just going to evaporate. My biggest worry is just being able to do enough damage to those blocks and before they get to me, and as well he's going to have his great swords which are hopping through the buildings to get to me. So even though I know my fanatics on this side will really take a big chunk out of them, I still have to worry that if I don't do enough by the time that they get here, they could really rip me up and cause me a lot of trouble. So with my vanguard moves, I just move my wolves over here to the left, just wanting to bog down this side. And he wins first turn and decides to take it. He actually was not as aggressive as I would expect him to be. I think he is very worried about that Ragnarok that could have cut across and gone for a flank or something. And so really he just had the great swords that had to march up to the one building. The rest just moved up very slowly. He kept his wolves, his demigryphs, into the actual woods over there to try and give them a cover. And then really in the magic phase, all that really happened is he got a couple of bound ward saves off, and that's it. My turn 2, I get off my Foot of Gork, and man, after it hits these great swords, I'm not really worried about them anymore. Now that half the unit's gone, and after fanatics, it's not going to be a danger anymore. And otherwise, it looks like this. So I did have some animosity problems. One Wolf Rider unit picked a fight with the other. You can see that one was completely decimated by it. So, yeah. I only got the one unit now, and it couldn't move up into a position to do anything. On the right flank, I kind of moved my units back so that his demigryphs couldn't charge me. Just to continue on with the magic phase, the Foot of Gork also took off a whole bunch from his swordsman, but it was an irresistible force, and the miscast was that I lost that spell. Luckily on the D3, I only lost 1 wizard level, but that means I can't cast Foot of Gork anymore. So it did very well, but it's just too bad it's gone. Otherwise, doing some shooting, killed a few more from the swordsman, and that's really it at this point. He has his level 4 in that back building with the red roof, and so I tried putting a Doom Diver into there to actually go and try and knock out his magic right away, but he has a 4+ ward, and I only did 1 wound to him so far. Empire turn 2 then, and sometimes it might be actually confusing, because if you look at this picture you might actually think it's the previous one, but he's just only moved up about 4 inches. I really think what it must have been was that he was really worried about the Ragnarok, because otherwise, I mean, he pretty much had no reason to go marching, or not to go marching right into my face. So I guess that spider's been giving me a little psychological edge here. Otherwise, his great swords are into the tower there. His magic phase, he actually got off the 1 laser beam thing on my Ragnarok, but rolled a 1, so nothing happened there. A few ward saves up, but that's really it. He's just kind of holding his ground, edging up slightly. My turn 2 then. I mean, if he's going to do that, I'm just going to keep on shooting at him. So pretty much I just throw up the Wolf Riders to slow down his main units, and then I just start shooting into him. So unfortunately, you know, even though I have so much shooting, there's only so much it can do, and that's because it's scattering. He's having his 5+ ward all the time, so it's just not killing that much. I was able to kill a few more of his great swords in the tower, but really, I mean, I would think that my Doom Diver is going into his demigryphs would be just slaughtering them, but the way it's going with scattering and his wards, I still haven't taken a single one of those models off. So on his turn 3, his white swords come out of the building, which triggers my fanatics. Only 1 goes into him, but you can see now he's so decimated, has guys in front of him, he's kind of stuck in place, and with all these units here, he can't really hit 1 without dealing with a flank charge, and really after all my archer shots, these guys are going to be gone. Apart from that, it looks like this. So he charged my wolves with his main block, I fled, only went 4 inches, but you know, that wasn't so bad because that means he stopped once he got to those 4 inches, so there he is there. So he started moving up a little bit. It is messing up his lines. His 1 spearman block was trapped behind, and he tried actually going for a charge with his demigryphs onto my right night goblins, but failed the charge. And then again, actually this turn he did have some magic that did something other than ward saves. He had the cleansing flare onto my Ragnarok that actually did 2 wounds to it. So a little bit of damage here, and now I think I'm in a good position to have a good, to actually be knocking some points out. So over here I have my chariot in the Ragnarok going to the Archlector. I really think that's just overkill. I'm just going to be slaughtering that thing. And then on the right side, I actually didn't want to charge him. I was just going to move up and shoot out fanatics and shoot bows, but I failed animosity, had to charge, and in doing so, 2 of the fanatics went through him. 1 I had to land on myself, and he's down 2 wolves now before I even get to the fight. So otherwise, it looks like this. Shooting on the left side, yeah, those great swords and the 2 characters, they're completely gone. Swordsman, a little bit more reduced. I was really surprised with the whole combat with the Archlector. I mean, I've only did 1 damage. Pretty much, just to let you know how I did these things, I had the impact hits. I think that did 1 of the wounds already. And then a Ragnarok went after the War Altar, the little guys went after the Archlector, and in the end, I just had 1 damage to each. And in return, his attacks actually destroyed the chariot. So I won, he's stubborn, but whatever, I'll have to keep on going. The other combat, my Night Goblins actually won through combat res. He drank his potion or whatever, turned into Super Huss, but yeah, so hopefully, you know, if I ever fail, I'll be steadfast, but only on a 5. But, you know, whatever, they've done their job, they did a whole bunch of damage, maybe I can pick away a little bit more, and then if nothing else, once they do break through, then my War Machines will finish them off. His turn 4 then, he sends his, I think this is called the Hurricanum, I don't know, but he sends them to the Ragnarok as well. I'm not too worried, I'm still pretty certain I'm going to win this fight in the long run. But yeah, it looks like I was wrong about that. Pretty much, his demigryphs beat my Night Goblins, whatever, you know, I kind of saw that was going to happen eventually once he had some okay dice. Broke, got ran down, but man, the Ragnarok, I just whiffed everything. I did not do a single wound. He did no wounds to me. He gets 1 combat res for charging, and he wins, and I break, even with stubborn. I mean, it's a low leadership. And there you go, my spider's gone. He overran into my chariot, and all of a sudden this flank is pretty much in a desperate pace just to try and shoot down to get some points. Left side, he's just moving up. My side 4, and this is one of the joys of being an Orc and Goblin player, is moments like this, where you go across, you do your animosity, oh look, the Night Goblins fail, okay, we'll pick a fight with the Savages, and they beat up each other and they can't do anything. Alright, let's do my bunker. Oh, they fail too, they have to charge or do nothing. Guess I'm doing nothing. And so it was funny, because seeing my opponent's face is just, what? They can't do anything? You don't get any magic? And it's like, yeah, as an Orc player, you're just like, this is just the thing that just happens sometimes. You play the game, it's wacky, and sometimes it goes so wrong, but that's Orcs and Goblins. So it would have been nice to get all that short-range shooting and maybe get some magic in too, but whatever. So with that happening, I didn't really have much else to do. So what he'd actually had done, which I thought was surprising, is he had actually put his level 4 into the tower. So I charged it and failed to charge. So at least that was something I was able to try and do. By the way, if I didn't mention, he has Lore of Metal. And anyway, yeah, I tried doing some more shooting. Everything really failed against the demigryphs. I think I did maybe 1 wound to it, but again, I mean, I think I'd be doing so much more, but so much is scattering. Breaking down his detachment a little bit, and it's just, you got so much shooting, and I realized that not having your archers shoot really hurts you, but man, even with these, you're only going to get a direct hit 1/3 of the time, and then these scatters, and matched up with his ward saves, are meaning that I'm just doing very little damage. His turn 5 then, and this is what it looks like after charges, which made me feel fairly lucky. So demigryphs into bolt thrower, whatever, it's dead, and then he tried triple charging my savages. So he had the Archlector coming across, and then the swordsman with the halberdier detachment, and he actually failed the charge with the swordsman. The Archlector one was kind of a far one, but now I'm only fighting the halberdiers. So a little bit of a lucky break there. Should get an easy win in a combat, but yeah, it's I'm going to need to really turn things around. And at the end it looks like this. So of course, the one bolt thrower is just dead. Beat his halberdiers in combat, failed to run them down, so no points there. And the really good news I like seeing from this is that everything is shifting over to the left side. So that means that nothing's going to be cleaning up all those war machines on the right side. I mean, like, what he could have done is break apart his characters and really just start destroying all of those doom divers and high cost things over there, but it's nice to see that everything is shifting away from it. So my turn 5, and I didn't really mention, but on his turn he actually got a spell off, one of his first ones that actually really mattered, other than ward saves, where it's the whole one where you're turning my orc archers into gold, and it causes stupidity and all this stuff. So unfortunately they failed stupidity this turn, so they could not charge the level 4. I had a couple of war machines that failed their test, so they just stumbled up and couldn't shoot. And so really I just went into looking to get victory points mode, and I was able to kill the demigryph, the last one, and Luther Huss, so there's some stuff. The savages, passed the test, not the charge. They just reformed, so at least everything will be on the front, and a little bit more shooting into the main units here, but not much else done. So now I'm going to have to take a charge, and hopefully my savages will be steadfast. Empire, last turn, he's hitting in here with the Archlector and with the swordsman as well, so again, I'm just hoping to be steadfast so that maybe my Night Goblins could be coming in to help, but we'll see. But after everything's said and done, it didn't happen. They broke, they were ran down, he overran into the Night Goblins. The Night Goblins aren't going to do anything. He actually got the spell off with one of his little support things there where they're going to be -1 to hit, so I mean, they're going to do nothing in combat. Best I can hope for is that they are going to just not die. And then otherwise, you can see he took his level 4 out of the building, so I couldn't charge him. And yeah, I'm just kind of desperately now hoping to get some points. And so I move out my Orc Shaman, try and do the Headbutt to his level 4. It's dispelled. shooting and stuff, I was able to kill the level 4, and then I really thought I was farther back, so I thought that the best chance for me to get the points was actually from the Arch Lector and the War Altar. So I threw everything in there, all my bolt throwers and all that stuff. And yeah, he was just making ward saves like crazy. And so eventually I just kind of gave up, and all of my stone throwers started going after the one that has the planets all over it. And yeah, scatter, scatter, only one hit, did one wound, so no points there. And then my Night Goblins got beaten up, did their best to hit the characters, didn't even cause a single wound, and then they're steadfast. So when we added it all up, it was actually, I got 800 victory points and he got 885, so a tie in his favor. A couple of thoughts back on this. A really shooty list like this, I think this was one of the best situations I could have. My deployment, I think, was very strong. Unfortunately, of course, with Animosity screwing up my wolves, that didn't really help. But then again, the way that he played so cautiously almost was like the way as if I would have had the wolves do what they're supposed to do anyway. But I was fairly disappointed with the low amount that all this artillery was able to do. Really, the biggest chunk of damage that was done by my Foot of Gork. So, that's one thing. When you look at effectiveness, I wasn't too happy with the shooting. Again, I got some really bad luck with the Animosities where I didn't get to shoot. Had some bad luck with the Iraq Narok. But in the end, it wasn't so much about the effectiveness even. I was kind of disappointed with this shooty list just because of how long it took. I mean, it's one thing to be in combat and have to roll a whole bunch of dice, but combats are usually done in one round of combat, in one round, and then one side breaks or whatever. With this, when I'm trying to shoot my bows, and I'm trying to throw so many dice all the time, turn after turn, I could just see this. It's going to make your opponent bored. It was taking forever, and I just didn't really like having to do that. So for effectiveness and for speed of gameplay, I think I really will now want to go back to just a pure combat orc type list. Otherwise, it was good to bring out the orcs again. I love them. It was nice to finally play this list, even though it didn't do what I wanted it to do overall. And at least it didn't lose. So thanks for watching. Bye.